Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk to you guys about how to defeat lust. So listen, you guys have to understand what lust is in order to overcome it. So what is lust? Lust is basically another word for seek, right? You're seeking to do something and you have a strong desire to do something, right? Whether it be good or bad, right? Like you ever hear the saying that like that war general had a lust for power, or the president of this country had a lust to take over the whole world, right? Um, so lust is basically just another word for a strong desire to take something and do something, right? Seek, right? So lust is a way of, it's almost like a way of being per se, right? So in context to pornography and semen retention, lust is the desire to go watch pornography and release your seed, right? And when we do that, we strengthen our lust for that activity, right? You know, even on a physiological, scientific level, our brain neurons are strengthened when we pursue that activity, right? So in order to defeat that, right, there has to be, technically speaking, a rewiring process, a turning away process, right? So that's what we're going to talk about. And to start off, let's start at the most fundamental level, the eyes, right? The eyes are the window to the soul, right? So in other words, if you look at something, right, and you know it's not good for you, but you keep looking at it, right, eventually your imagination is going to start to play games with you, and you'll find it easier, in a sense, to go back to that activity, right? So in context to pornography, in context to trying to overcome your sexual desires, you have to turn away from looking at women, right? And that is, it's simple, but it's difficult, right? Especially when you're in that cycle, right? Because you're so used to it, it feels good. Everyone else does it. Everyone else is, pointing to the girls when you're with your buddies, right? So it's very easy to fall into the trap, right? To fall back. And the key here to realize is that when you look at a woman, right, and you're in that seeker state, it just strengthens that lust, right? So there's a saying in the Bible, I forget what verse it is, but basically you're either feeding your flesh or you're feeding your spirit, right? And both are going to war against another. When you feed your spirit is warring against your flesh. And your flesh, when you're feeding your flesh is warring against your spirit. So if you're feeding your flesh, right, by looking at women, right, and continuing to indulge, well, then it's going to just be like you're on autopilot. And in the same sense, if you're feeding your spirit, right, fasting, meditation, prayer, dopamine detox, etc., right, it's going to be a lot easier. It's going to be like you're on autopilot when it's time, to look at a woman, because you're just going to look away, right? Because you're already in that state of discernment, of higher understanding, right? So you have to understand that if you're really struggling and you're really struggling with lust, you have to understand where you're at. You're in a state of consciousness that is so it's seeking just pure pleasure, right? And even when I was in my like deepest pit of struggling with the problem, I still had like a little bit of like understanding, like, yeah, I probably need to I need to stop looking at these women. I need to stop, right? I need to stop, right? And eventually I got to the point where my spirit started to kick in, right? My higher understanding started to kick in, right? And day by day, it got easier. I was looking at women less. I was looking at pornography less. Now, almost 7 months in, I don't really have too many problems, right? I still get the desire sometimes to watch pornography or look at a girl, but like if I look real quick, I'll just turn right away. Like it's almost like not even a half a second that I look, right? Um, and here's the thing with like women that dress promiscuously, and if you find yourself in that situation, right? You don't have to look, right? But even in the sense, it's like, what are you looking for? You're just looking to feel good, right? You want to feel good, or for whatever reason, I don't know why. But when I look, it's like, oh, it's just, to me, it's like, it's whatever. It's like, oh, it's just another piece of ass, like whatever. Like it's nothing special, right? There's no meaning to it. When you really think about it, it's just a piece of equipment. Like it's nothing to really like lust after at the end of the day, right? Um, and here's the thing: when you're in a situation where you see a beautiful woman, you don't even have to look at her to know she's bad, right? You can kind of like have periphery vision and like know, okay, she's dressing promiscuously. I probably shouldn't give my full on attention, right? I probably shouldn't fully look at her, right? So um, it's very important. Your eyes are literally like the gateway to death or life, literally. Um, so you got to be careful. You got to be careful with your eyes, right? Um, Jesus says, "Be in the world, not of it." We can't escape like women dressing promiscuously, and obviously they're gonna come our way. But we don't have to be of the masses of men who look at them, right? So we're still in the world, but we're not of the people, the men who participate in that lustful look at women, right? Does that make sense? So I think this is very key for a lot of guys to start really understanding. To really start like progressing, to really start to like like get on the fast track of being in a higher state of understanding. You have to stop looking. Start off. It's very simple, but just start off by not looking at women too much. If you're gonna look at a woman, just look at her face, right? Like if you see her or whatever, just keep it at eye level, right? Don't look down, don't look at her breasts, don't look at her butt, right? Just look at her face, right? If you see her, and don't look back too. Like if she's coming this way, right? And you're walking this way, don't be like that guy who just like looks back. There's so many guys who do that. Like the place I work at, it's like, I study, I just observe, and I see guys like they're just looking, right? Like a girl will walk, like for example, like she'll be at the register or whatever, right? And the guy behind her, right? I'll literally watch him turn around as she's walking away, and I'm like, dude, why are you doing that to yourself, right? So yeah, this is key, guys. This is key to defeating lust, right? It's a baby step, but small steps lead to big results. So that's it, guys. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. If you have any questions, comments, feel free to leave them down below. And as always, I hope you guys have a good one. Peace.